Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Deborah Cohen, and I appreciate you stopping by. If you'd like to put your name in the chat box and tell me where you're watching from, that would be super cool. Super cool. It is April 3rd, 2022, and life goes on. I am here as a musician, sharing my tunes, and hopefully you will enjoy the message. Okay, give me a minute to resize my Bandcamp page, and let us begin. I am in beautiful, beautiful sunny Georgia. And today's topic is about your words because, recently we saw on the Oscars how Will Smith slammed Chris Rock for saying something nasty about his wife, Words do matter. Even though when I was a little girl in the 60s, there was this saying, "Sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me." That is such a bunch of bunk. Of course, names will hurt you. And bullying is at an all-time high. As many laws as you try to pass about it, it's just out of control. People are losing their respect for other human beings. So let's try to talk about the reasons why it does matter what we say. I don't always get it right, so I don't proclaim to be an expert. But I'm just telling you from experience, it's always better to speak loving kindness, or in the crude fashion that my mother once said many times, "You catch more flies with sugar." I don't know who she was saying a fly is, but I don't think that's very kind either, Mom. Okay. On with the show, because it's only 30 minutes and I want you to really get something out of this besides me laughing with myself until somebody else shows up in the chat. All right. The Talmud, which is a Jewish book that I study, links Za'arat, which is discussed in this week's Bible class. Some people translate it as leprosy. It's a growth on your skin. And it's good to know what it is caused by, because we're talking about sickness, dis-ease of the body. The Talmud links Za'arat with Lashon Hara, or slander, or as Maimonides explains, with overall negative speech. So check your mouth. Have you said anything lately that's negative? Well, you could do like we did in the youngin' days. You go get yourself a bar of soap. Like that's really going to fix it. Well, I guess for a child, you wouldn't want to taste that nasty taste again. So I guess you would think twice before you said something nasty again. But by the judge of today's media and what sells, it seems like nastiness thrives in the ears of America. I don't know about the other worlds, but in America, people like to listen to smut. Not all people, okay? Not all people. Accordingly, we must wonder, how does this make sense? Meaning, how does it make sense that you develop this growth on your skin because of nasty words? Well, the owners of the house are being punished for doing something wrong. So why should they gain from it? Why should one who slanders another or speaks negatively be rewarded with discovering jewels in the walls of their home? And that's pertaining to this week's Bible course, which I'm not getting into. So if you want to know about finding jewels in the home, you'll have to look up Chabad.org and find out. But the magic of words, the point is, in this punishing of your skin affliction, is that it wasn't just to give the sinner a slap on the wrist. Rather, it was a teaching moment to guide the sinner to properly appreciate the power of speech and the right way to use it. Hence, the treasure. So, if you don't think that your words matter, they sure enough do. Ask Will Smith this week at the Oscars, do your words matter? And if you're going to listen to sarcasm, which I don't like to listen to, a lot of comedians, they like to spew out harsh words to make a point, and people love to listen to that stuff, so not me. Think about it, because you're loading your mind up with stuff that's not nice, and you at some point can manifest sarcasm or say something nasty because you heard it from, I did it this week. I won't tell you what I said, but my rabbi corrected me. Rabbi Rosenthal, if you're listening, remember in the Mac class, I said something about a group of people that wasn't very nice, and you corrected me, and I said, I stand to be corrected. So I'm not an expert here. I'm just telling you that your words do matter. Matter. All right, I'm going to leave the chat here right now. So if you are here, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the chat message, but I will try to remember to check out the chat. Our first song is called Speak Life. And this is a song that I wrote when I realized that words matter years ago. I realized I couldn't just say anything. I couldn't just keep dropping the F-bomb and thinking that my life was going to be a bouquet of roses every day. You get addicted to violence if you keep at it long enough, and then people can't discern what's right and wrong anymore. Sound familiar? All right. So let me share the first song that I wrote called Speak Life. And the words are taken from the Bible, so maybe you'll recognize some of them if you've ever looked at it. It's a manual for life, for all of us, believe it or not. It's a manual. We all are here for a purpose. We have to find out what our purpose individually is. You've been called to this earth to do something that nobody else can do. And God is waiting for you to get to it. And that's what I'm doing. It took me a long time to get myself together. So here I am trying to get to it by sharing wisdom in the songs that I write. And hopefully it'll help somebody to find the elevated path of righteousness.
Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life, or death. Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life or death. Whatever things are of good report. If there is any virtue, think about these things. In my distress I cried to Adonai, and he heard me. Deliver my being, O Adonai, from lying lips, Lashon Allah. Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life, or death. Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life or death. Whatever things are of good reward. If there is any virtue, think about these things. What shall be given to you? Or what shall be done with the deceitful tongue? Sharp arrows of the warrior, coals of juniper, for shalom, but my words are of war. Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life or death. Speak life. Out of the mouth speaks life or death. Whatever things are of good report. If there is any virtue, think about these things. Evil talk kills 3 people. things are of good report. If there is any virtue, think about these things. Think about these things.
And that is Speak Life by Deborah Cohen. That is me. C'est moi. C'est moi. So think about what you're saying, not only for your own personal health, but if you love your neighbor as yourself, then it does matter what you say. And somehow that got lost in the translation from Hebrew to English along the way. Now, the next song is about healing because we're talking about your words matter. So if you speak life, it changes the atmosphere around you. And depending on your faith, you can manifest your world to be a better place so that the light of God within each one of us sparks. And when you look at the aura of another human being, you see light instead of darkness. Light. Life brings light. Words of death bring darkness. We all choose which way we want to go with this. I choose life and life more abundantly. So this next song is called Healer, and it is available on Bandcamp or wherever online music is streamed. Please consider sharing my music. Deborah Cohen.
Step at a time, I walk by faith and not by sight. Lord, give me eyes to see and let my lips praise your name. Give me ears to hear your call, the reason why you came. Heal me, don't lie, you're the healer, there's power in your name. Touch my divine light in the wings of your garment. Forever you are the same. You are my healer. You are my deliverer. You are my fortress, my God. In you I will trust. There's an emptiness that's crying deep inside me for the only one who has the power to set me free. Heal me, don't lie, you're the healer, there's power in your name. Touch my divine light in the wings of your garments. Forever you're still the same. You are my healer.
And that is Healer by myself here, Deborah Cohen. And if you're in the chat, please let me know where you're watching from. And if you'd like to join the Facebook group, where you can find out more about Psalm Sundays. Now, hear what I just said. Psalm Sundays. Some people look at that real quickly and they think it says Palm Sunday. No, it's not Palm Sunday. I mean, it may be for you, but that's not one of my holidays. So this is called Psalm Sundays on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/Psalm Sundays with an S on the end of Sundays. So join the group and you'll be able to find out more about my music and the transforming power of your words. If you speak life, you shall see light, the light of God. If you speak death, then your visage will be darkness. There was a time when I was attracted to the darkness. I used to love in the 70s listening to Alice Cooper. He seems to have a buzz going on right now in Twitter. I don't know what's going on with Alice. Last I knew, he lived in Arizona, but he's one of the diehards in the classic rock world, and he used to have an act as a rock band about death. And at that time, when I was clueless, I was attracted to the dark. But no more. I understand that light is where the healing is, the light of God. That introduces the next song that I wrote, the prayers. The words are from Jewish prayer, but the music I added to it. It's called Healing Song. So if you know somebody that needs healing, these words are in Hebrew and then English. Just receive these words. Or you can share this song with somebody that is in need of a healing. Share this song. The words bring healing. Learn the words. If you don't know the words, I think I posted them in the song, Healing Song, on Bandcamp. Just go to Deborah Cohen Music. That's Debra Cohen, Cohen, music.bandcamp.com. So I will pray with you. This is a praying song for healing. And God has healed me from several major illnesses for a greater purpose. Even though I still suffer illness attacks, dis-ease with the body, I continue to petition God, Adonai Rafecha, for healing. Refuah Shalema to those in need of healing. And I will sing this song for you, for all, for the sake of healing. To God be the glory.
Adonai Rofei, Chole
And that is Healing Song by Deborah Cohen. May you be healed in the blessing, and continue to pray and ask God for healing. If it doesn't happen the first time, that's not unusual. God loves to test our faith. Sometimes the healing comes, but the manifestation takes a while in the body to manifest. I hope that there was something in this broadcast today that brought light to your world. Remember that we are to love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. And so if you're having a hard time understanding what self-love is, not in a conceited way, how do you know if you love yourself? Well, the way that I learned it through much counseling as a younger adult, my therapist said to me, I want you, Deborah, to look in the mirror when you're alone in the privacy of your home and see what you feel when you look in the mirror. I thought, what a vain task is this? Look in the mirror and see what I feel? But I was so hurting that I trusted this therapist, and so I looked in the mirror. And what I saw or felt was disdain. I hated myself. I mean, you can actually hate yourself and not know it. Self-loathing. It's impossible to love somebody else if you're full of self-loathing. And that I was. Did not have a good childhood without rehearsing all of the wounds again. But I was stuck. I couldn't believe that I finally realized I had to forgive myself for the things that I had done to hurt others, when possible, to go to the person that I wounded, or should I say persons, with my words, and go back and ask for forgiveness in an effort to do my part in Tikkun Olam. I had to ask when it was appropriate. Now, sometimes it just is not possible. They've moved on. They're not here anymore. You don't know where they are, but you can still pray for them and ask God to forgive you for the harm you've done, and to dedicate the rest of your life from this point on to speaking life, speaking goodness. And you'll hear the voice in your head that still wants to tell you once in a while, this person is don't say it. If you think it, it's one thing, but if you do think it, that's where the words are coming from. So you need to wash this mind of yours out by doing a check. What are you taking into your being? You're supposed to be the guardian of your mind, of your body, your soul, and your spirit. So what are you taking in? Are you taking trash from the TV into your mind and expecting light to come out of your mouth? That's not possible. Maybe you put on a good front. Like I know some people that can teach the Bible, but behind closed doors, they're watching trash or not doing what they teach. There's plenty of those around. But let's, for our own health, make an oath and say, from now on, I'm going to speak life. I'm going to think on only those things that are pure. I'm going to chase away the blues. If you have a medical condition, there are things that you can talk to your doctor about to help you with melancholy, with depression. I've walked away from that. All these things, it's really complex as human beings to find shalom within. Shalom is peace, but it's possible. If you knew me when I was in the rock band, you wouldn't believe I'm this person today. You just would not. I'm telling you, I don't believe it. I mean, it's hard to believe I was that person. Wow. you know. And when you're going through transformation, of course, and you try to profess goodness when you've lived a life that's not been good, you'll hear that conscious voice say, people know about your past. They're gonna think you're like a hypocrite. Well, you know, you have to go through that. It's part of your growth. Fine, you might have to change friends, which I had to do. Very painful to leave friends behind that don't want to change, because we all change at different points in our lives. So when it's your time for an awakening, a book that I would recommend is The Awakened Brain. I think that's what it's called, by Lisa Miller. The Awakened Brain. I think that's what it's called, by Lisa Miller. And realize there's a certain part of every human being's brain that's reserved for God. And it's time for your awakening. If you're listening to this and you're curious, I'd say that God is calling you. It's time for you to commit your life to good, to goodness, to loving kindness, and get on the path that God has designed for individually you, because only you can do what God has made you to do. Nobody else can do it for you. You're here for a precious work that only you can do. So I encourage you to clean up your act. And it's a lifetime, right? Yeah, that's what it is. So that's one of the reasons that I do this, is to maybe help somebody that's kind of looking for the light. And it's available to each one of us with a little bit of help from our friends, says Ringo Starr. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. And come again next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Bandcamp. Deborah Cohen Music.bandcamp.com. Shalom.